The main presentation today is part of a series of presentations and workshops over 3 days. The specific outcomes of those workshops and presentations is to assist in developing a strong selling proposition for Geelong, to attract new investment to the region through an alignment at all levels of government, Deakin University, CSIRO and business. And also move towards an entrepreneurial culture, one that encourages the commercialisation of Deakin and CSIRO's IP. Late last year, I was lucky enough to attend a course at the University of California, Berkeley, where I met Jerry. The thing that I remember most about the course of the whole class was inspired by Jerry's passion, as I'm sure you will be today. Jerry comes from a very unique perspective as a director of the Leicester Centre of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Berkeley. He's also a general partner of Minter Ventures and has had hands-on experience in a number of startups. And we're very privileged to have him join us today. This event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Very much like to recognise Multimedia Victoria, Bio Geelong, ICT Geelong, Deakin University, and of course the key sponsor, which is Enterprise Connect, which is part of the Department of Innovation, Industry, Science and Research. To introduce Jerry, I'm fortunate to have with us the Honourable Richard Marles, MP, Member for Carrara and Parliamentary Secretary for Innovation Industry. Richard.
Thanks, Robert, and it's a great honour and joy to be here today to welcome our honoured guest, who I will get to in a moment. It's also fantastic to be looking out on that ground a week before another triumphant season is about to start. So all of our things are crossed, and I was talking to Jerry before about exactly what this place means to this community. And I think it's probably fair to say, Jerry, that the heart of Geelong beats just out there. So this is a great place to be hearing what is your very important address. And I think as we were looking to this 10-day period a couple of months ago, we knew that there were two great Americans who planned to come to Australia during this time. One, an innovator, an entrepreneur, a trailblazer, a person who was doing new things, and of course the other being President Obama. And when we heard that it might be the case that one of them may not actually come now, I was very pleased to know that the one who would come is, of course, Professor Jerry Engel, and of course we also do look forward to President Obama coming back in June. In a sense, this introduction is of Jerry. It's a bit of an introduction of Geelong to Jerry. Geelong, as we know, is a town which has had a long association with manufacturing and with industry. We really see ourselves as an industrial town in many respects. We're becoming more than that, but industry is a very large part of who we are. And that tradition started in the very earliest days of the Victorian colony, when wool scourers and lime kilns dominated the landscape around Corio Bay. In fact, in the 1800s, our textile industry was substantial enough that Geelong was regarded as the Bradford of the South. Of course, in the 20th century, we now have global brands, global multinational companies which are based here in Shell, Alcoa, Ford, which are absolutely intrinsic to this town. But if we are going to maintain manufacturing in Geelong, and indeed, in a sense, it's a Geelong message, but it's very much a national message. If we're going to maintain manufacturing in Australia, we simply have to climb the technological ladder. We are unlikely in this country, and we're unlikely in this town to be making low-value goods for the cheapest prices in terms of the international market. For us to manufacture successfully and participate successfully in the global village, we simply have to make things in this country which can't be made anywhere else. We have to do things in this country, even in the services sector, which can't be done anywhere else. And that involves climbing the technological ladder. It involves absolutely integrating knowledge message into whatever we do, so that we become not just an industrial economy in this town and in this country, but very much a knowledge industrial economy. And I think that's one of the key messages that I'm looking forward to hearing from Jerry. There are a couple of great examples of how we've walked down that path here in Geelong, with both the ICT cluster and the Bio Geelong cluster. ICT Geelong has certainly shown that it is being very action focused. It's been in existence barely 12 months, but already it's engaged more than 300 regional small and medium enterprises in networking sessions. It's linked into key IT organisations and allied industries like Telstra, Bowen Health, Callista Software Services and Target Australia. And it's preparing a strategy for ongoing development of ICT in the Geelong area. And can I just also say this, and I guess particularly to Robert, that this initiative today would not have happened without the vision, without the courage, without the gentle persuasion and collective energy from a number of business leaders. And to those key Geelong businesses and their business leaders who continue to drive the ICT cluster, support the development and are committed to improving and growing the ICT sector in Geelong, it's a great pleasure to be here with you today to see an industry growing through your leadership. And I'd really especially like to mention and acknowledge Robert Reid, the chair of the cluster, who has been instrumental in bringing such a world-renowned speaker here to Geelong today. And to the City of Greater Geelong and the State Government, who have also contributed generously to today's event. I'm sure an event which I'm sure will inspire, will energise and will continue to nourish all of our aspirations into making this community leading edge when it comes to ICT delivery, innovation and investment. Bio Geelong is similarly a product of this region's critical mass. Bio Geelong members are already well advanced in their aim to develop Geelong as a major biotechnology precinct with global links. Some of the standouts in my mind include the pivotal role that CSIRO's Australian Animal Health Laboratory played in the smart response to the 2007 equine influenza outbreak. And in the private sector, we've got ChemGenix, which is well advanced with clinical trials of a new drug to combat myeloid leukemia in the US, and recently they've sold their rights for this drug to Europe, the Middle East and Africa. A major initiative is Bio Geelong's exploration of opportunities to establish a centre of excellence in the area of animal diseases and human infection, and this has been supported by Enterprise Connect, a key Australian government initiative, which I'll come back to in a moment. And I understand that the Australian Animal Health Laboratory, Deakin Uni and Bowen Health will be involved in extending common research key areas. Given the recent focus on swine flu and a few years ago on bird flu, all of this is very timely. And a centre like this, I believe, may well result in some commercial opportunities in future years. I mentioned Enterprise Connect, which is a major sponsor of today's event and which forms part of the department of which I'm a part, the Federal Department of Innovation, Industry, Science and Research. Enterprise Connect is a $50 million a year initiative which is aimed at helping small and medium enterprises to become more innovative and internationally competitive and more productive. And as part of that has been established the Innovative Region Centre, which of course is based right here in Geelong. And whilst it's working with a number of regions around Australia, 10 I think, here in Geelong it's working with a number of industry networks. And a key Innovative Region Centre activity is working with groups to identify strategic priorities and to promote cross-network collaboration. The Centre has also been working with Bio Geelong on developing collaborative activities and the region's biotechnology industry. In particular, it's exploring the potential for industrial biotechnology and involvement of Enterprise Connect's researchers in business programs. Sponsoring Professor Jerry Engel's visit to Australia shows how the Innovative Region Centre is working with local industry to promote collaboration, entrepreneurship and innovation. Which does bring me to Professor Jerry Engel himself. Jerry is, as Robert has said, the Faculty Director of the Leicester Centre for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the University of California in Berkeley. It is a program, a faculty which is focusing on entrepreneurship and innovation and collaboration, I think, between universities and the private sector. It's also an area which is looking at the role of venture capital in relation to that. And all of that, I think, is so important in terms of what we, the challenges that we have in Geelong, but the ingredients that we have in Geelong to meet those challenges. A statistic which I'm not sure you might be aware of, Jerry, and it's a statistic which unfortunately is to this country's shame, is that within the OECD, ranked on the basis of collaboration between public research institutions and the private sector, Australia actually ranks last in the OECD. It is a culture that we need to change. And when you look at what we've got here in Geelong with a fantastic university, which has had a really substantial growth in its research budget, a university which is now more sought after in terms of students than Melbourne University, a university which is very much central to our region. When you look at that on the one hand and you look at the strong industrial base which I've mentioned that we've got on the other, it is utterly obvious that what we need to be seeing is collaboration between those two areas within our economy to help industry in this town climb that technological ladder and to ensure that innovation happens. We talk about looking at the example of Silicon Valley, and there really are many of the same ingredients in this region that you'll see in Silicon Valley. And so I was saying to Jerry before, it's hard to imagine a person more qualified to speak on a topic which is more pertinent and relevant to where Geelong needs to go. So it's my great pleasure indeed to welcome Professor Jerry.